Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, kind of broadcasting remote today. Of course, we're at the garden level at the Holman studio, but we're going to run downtown to Detroit right now and spend a little time with one of our favorite people, Tammy Carnrike, the COO of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Tammy, it's good to see you being able to catch a breath after all the dancing you guys have had to do to put on the Mackinac Policy Conference.
Be with you again. I love having me on. But yeah, you're right. Putting on the conference, extending it, and doing it under tough health situations. Now we're, really off and running for another one in May. So we're on a fast pace.
That was the other part of it. Not only did you have to move this one, but it shortened the time of prep for the next one.
Exactly. But we're on it. We're ready.
I know you are. You're always ready. So let me ask you this, because one of the things that comes out of this policy conference, and I might tell you, it was one of the most productive ones that we have, the Michigan Business Network, has ever attended. We got a lot of stuff done, and there were a lot of people available who in the past haven't been.
I have to tell you, we have had more comments that they have enjoyed this last conference so much, and mainly because they enjoyed the smaller crowd, actually. And, we had to do that because, quite frankly, with health and safety protocols that we had in place, we had to have more spacing. You probably noticed that, we did more outdoors, especially so that, people didn't feel like they were too crowded. And same thing, we're hearing they loved it. They prefer that we have a smaller one. They felt like they made connections with more people than they had in the past. It really was a good conference, and all of our survey feedback, it's like 99%.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. And the other thing is the amount of time you got with people. So that was really good. One of the things that comes out of this policy conference is your to-do list, so to speak. So,
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so to-do list is based on what we hear from some of the best speakers on stage and how these issues impact not only Southeast Michigan, but across Michigan and the business community, and what's going to continue to affect it. And so the to-do list comes out with usually 4 or 5 key items. And so this year's to-do list is going to really make some sense, I think, to a lot of people. The first one being bringing together business, philanthropy, civic leaders, nonprofits, and government, all to accelerate data-based collection. So having more data available on how we can close the racial and social equity gap throughout the region, because we know that's a serious thing right now. We have a lot of people focused on it, but we need to be working together, probably more cohesively on how we do that. So that's one of the items. The second item is to support measures to help our employers, our companies, to deploy strategies to reduce the impact of COVID on the economy, the community health, etc. COVID-19 has hit us in ways that, we were never planning for. Businesses are still struggling with how are you going to come back from that? How are we going to be successful? And I don't need to tell you, we hear it every day, things like the loss of talent, right? How do you bring people back into the office effectively that after they've been used to such a flexible schedule, how do you bring it back so that they still feel good about coming back to work? The third item is to help our businesses understand how COVID has permanently changed the work life and workplace, so that businesses can come up with new ways to change that environment. And then, last and not least, our post-secondary success is really, really important. We've got the goal of 60% post-secondary attainment. That's also the governor's goal by 2030. And so what we want to do is capitalize on our education data assets. We put a lot of that out during the State of Education. You've come to that. so you understand what's there. So that we can encompass all that research and highlight it so that we can work closer for more upward mobility and job growth. We've got to do more to prepare students and, quite frankly, some adults who may have dropped out of the workforce or didn't finish their education attainment, so that we are actually growing our mobility, upward mobility, and job growth for the future. So those are the to-do items. I think none of them are probably a surprise.
Well, and I think you have a lot to do in that regard, and we'll get the report card and how we're doing on that next May. And by the way, I might remind everybody, May 31, is that right? To June 3, if I'm not mistaken. There you go.
Very good, Chris.
Thank you very much. I wrote it on my hand here. Now I got so you have a new chairman too, and we've only got about 30 seconds left, but next year's chairman will be.
Yes, next year's chairman is Arn Tellem. He's the vice chairman of the Pistons organization. And he is a very wise man, very visionary. As you know, he's come from the sports world, has a lot of connections across the nation, very good businessman. And so we're very excited. We're already working with him. He's got great ideas for next year's conference. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, if you're going to get a full court press on those pillars, he's going to be the one. Come on.
Very good. I like that one.
Tammy Carnrike, COO of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it so much.
You're welcome, and thank you again for having me, Chris.
Talk to you soon. You are watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. Stay with us.